Are you wondering when your child is going to start talking? Do you feel like your friends' children are all master communicators whilst you're waiting for your child to catch up? My name is Bryony Rust and I'm a speech and language therapist. And in this video, I'm going to dispel some common myths about how children learn to talk that will reassure you and help shift your everyday interactions with your child. You know the scenario. Your child isn't talking very much. You feel that maybe they're reluctant, shy, a bit lazy in learning to talk, and everyone around you is giving you a gajillion different bits of advice on how to help them.
Have you tried singing more songs? You should go to the library. You should talk to her more. Maybe it's his diet. Have you tried these flashcards? You should ask him more questions. You shouldn't give in to her so much. He watches too much telly. Oh, she's not supposed to...
All this advice from every corner, all these suggestions that feel like criticism, like you're doing the wrong thing or you're not doing enough of the right thing. How do you keep your head straight? First, breathe. You can't stop unwanted advice, but you can be confident in dismissing some common misconceptions about how children learn to talk and the part that we play in this. Myth number 1, you must be doing something wrong. Learning to talk is a complex process, and there are lots of overlapping, interlinking reasons why some children have speech, language, and communication needs. So if you are sitting there weighed down by guilt over having done the right thing or the wrong thing or not enough of it or too much, you can just chuck that thought out right now. The sooner you reject that idea, the sooner you can focus on having some fun together. And fundamentally, it's about enjoying each other's company, not all about the words. Which brings me to the next common myth. You just need to talk more to your child. Throwing words at your child all day, every day is not the answer. You'll be tired, they'll be tired. There is a better way. Instead, be curious. Sit down with them, write down with them, belly on the floor if necessary, and watch what they're interested in. See the world from their eyes. Less is more. When you slow down and give yourself time to observe, you'll have a better idea of the words that your child is really interested in learning. It is better to say a few really useful things than to talk endlessly. So be curious, notice what they're interested in, and you'll naturally start to come up with ideas of the comments that you can give them that are useful to them. But don't expect them to use these words just yet. Often children need to hear words lots and lots of times before they'll have a go at saying them confidently. And this brings me to the third common myth. You just need to ask them more questions. Children don't learn by being tested, and they're actually not lazy. It's just that learning to talk is really a challenging process. And yes, they may have said that word once before, but it's not really secure for them yet, and so they need your help to really feel confident in learning it properly. Asking questions can feel like a quick win because often you get some kind of response from your child. But in the early stages of learning to talk, it is not the fastest way to help them. So if you catch yourself saying things like, "What's that? What are you doing? What colour is that?" Instead, switch it round and give them the word instead. "Oh, it's a cat." "Oh, you're rolling the Play-Doh. That's a cool red truck." So we've just dismissed 3 common myths about how children learn to talk and the role that we have to play in this. You're not doing anything wrong, you don't need to talk endlessly, and you don't need to ask them more questions. Instead, let's flip the script on this and give you 3 golden rules to help your marvellous kiddo learn to talk. Number 1, it's not your fault. Learning to talk is a complicated process, and there are a lot of factors that contribute to so many children needing extra help with this. Be curious. Watch and notice what your child's interested in so that you can give them a word that is useful to them. Give, don't ask. You can help your child learn a word faster by commenting on what they're doing instead of asking them what they're doing. If you have more questions that you'd like answered, you can join me in my private Facebook group, SALT Support. If you'd like to see more videos on communication development, you can hit subscribe and ask your questions in the comments below. If your child is late in learning to talk, trust that you are working it out together. You're here finding out more about communication development and you're on the right track. Take a deep breath, shake off that guilt, and be curious.